Tonight, doctors from Johns Hopkins University are calling it an absolute miracle. A Maryland man who faced death with COVID-19 after he and his wife both contracted the virus. 2 months into his recovery, he's trying to get back to his old self.
He spent about a month and a half in the ICU in the hospital and nearly a month on a ventilator. BNC's Brittany Jones joins us now live in the studio. Brittany, how has the recovery been for this couple?
Well, Laverne and Fred, when he first got home, they had to hire help to take care of him because he could barely function on his own. But his wife tells me the only thing that kept her faith was her constantly praying on her own and with the prayer group she created to pray for her husband's survival.
And I couldn't move. I was paralyzed.
A 56-year-old healthy man, highly active, known for DJing, and used to cutting the grass. But when he came face to face with the coronavirus, T. Clark could no longer move.
I'm a pretty active person, highly active, I would say. My wife says I'm an energized bunny. And I just started feeling sick one day, so we decided to go take the COVID test. And I got my results back the next day, and so did she. And we both came back positive.
He had a fever, he had a cough. He was kind of textbook for COVID.
Absolutely.
In terms of the symptoms. He had them all. I didn't have much of anything.
Marcy recovered quickly, but for T, it sent him to the hospital. He was in bad shape. Johns Hopkins doctors surrounded him with immediate care.
But when I woke up, I was very, very nervous and scared because I woke up to a bunch of bells and lights and whistles and a ton of people hovering over me.
28 days on the ventilator and a total of 46 days in the hospital.
I mean, that's a month that, you're in a medically induced coma, and it's a roller coaster ride.
Did you have the worst thoughts at some point?
Yeah, you do have the worst thoughts at some point. I mean, there was a time when his oxygen levels bottomed, and they actually called me and asked me about end-of-life measures.
But doctors like Dr. April Pruski made sure that wasn't the end for T. In fact, it was a new beginning.
But to relearn all of those things, it's hard. And when we're able to break that down for patients and see that people can have this amazing recovery, what pushes us is seeing great outcomes like T's outcome, seeing that, that all of the medical therapies that we're doing and the rehab therapies that we're doing really gets patients going.
And then the big day came when T got to see the outside world again. Very emotional.
So they rolled me out. It was a rainy day, and I was just happy. I kept telling the nurse, get me to the car before they changed their mind for releasing. So I got in the car, and we had a big family reunion out there. People came to see me. It was great. It was one of the happiest moments.
It was really moving to know that that's what we worked for, that we worked for this person to be home with their family.
The couple did everything right, from quarantine to not traveling, and still ended up with the virus. And while T was one of the blessed ones to survive, they still have a message for those who aren't heeding to the warnings.
And I had someone say to me one day, I don't like wearing a mask because I can't breathe. I said, well, you can't breathe when you have a tube down your throat either. And I'm speaking from experience.
If there's anything that you can possibly do to protect yourself, I strongly encourage people to take this seriously and to do it, because COVID truly doesn't discriminate.
For the Black News Channel, I'm Brittany Jones.
Well, the couple says they still can't put a percentage on his level of recovery, but he did finally test negative in June after initially going to the hospital back in March. They are both so grateful for the team of doctors that helped him from Johns Hopkins Hospital. Clark's wife says she journaled every day about this experience, and the couple is writing a book hoping it will help others.
Boy, what a miraculous story indeed, Brittany. Did the doctor speak at all about how the long-term effects may kick in? Not only will this patient see them possibly, but others who have suffered from this virus as well.
Yes, the doctor tells me post-intensive care syndrome will likely be a long-term effect. That goes for those who experience long ICU stays like T. She says people could suffer both mentally and physically. Like T, it's hard for them to get some sleep, some having issues thinking cognitively, anxiety, pain, and PTSD and depression. But the doctor says most importantly, there are intervention programs and treatments for these as long as these patients surround themselves with a good team of doctors and therapists. Fred Laverne.
Thanks, Brittany. And we want to know how you're coping.